Welcome to the Primal Persistence Podcast, the podcast where I will give you health and fitness tips for your journey toward health and fitness through knowledge from me and guests that we both can learn from. So let's get started with the Primal Persistence Podcast. Enjoy. Hey, and welcome. Today I have Markus on, who is a strength trainer in Vienna, and he's a European like me. Fantastic, and we don't have that many on, so I'm very happy to have my first European on the podcast. And today we're going to talk about strength training. He has a fantastic base in strength and weightlifting, both competitive and for health reasons. So today I would like to talk a lot about strength training and how to get strength training into your training, because I am confident that Markus can help us get a fantastic understanding and knowledge on how to use both the basic lift and using the more complex lifts that a lot of people who look into CrossFit and have seen all of these fantastic new lifts as the games just the last couple of days been seeing snatches and clean and jerks all over the place. And I would like to introduce Markus and let him introduce himself and why he is a fantastic trainer and weightlifter.
Thanks. Thank you very much for having me on the show. My name is Markus, and I am a strength and conditioning weight loss coach, personal trainer here in Vienna, Austria. And I also work online with clients. I do programming for clients online, and I love helping people, especially in the weight loss and strength and conditioning area.
Fantastic. What is your background to helping these people with both health and weight loss and being stronger?
I actually played American football for many, many years. I've been part of the one of the top teams here in Austria, and also the national team. And I just lost about 40 kilos myself, which is on like 90 pounds somewhere, 95, 100 pounds, I don't know. That's actually my background, that I've played football for many years, American football. Lost a ton of weight within the last couple of years. And I also studied sports science. I'm a sports scientist. I'm now giving that knowledge that I've gained through the many years of playing and working out, as well as losing weight for health reasons. I'm now giving that whole knowledge to other people that need it.
Fantastic. One quick question that popped up right in the start here. You said American football and you lost a lot of weight. What kind of training were you doing in the American football? Is it more functional style, or is it CrossFit, CrossFit, what's it called? CrossFit football, or what were you doing?
Yeah. We as a team, we did a lot of barbell movements, like squats, deadlifts, bench press, shoulder, and like overhead stuff. So that was basically the main thing in the weight room. And then there was also a lot of practices on the football field, lots of running on the field. But strength training was basically the core thing in my daily regimen. But also when I stopped playing football, when I ended my career, I kept going with strength training. And not going with any cardio. I did cardio for sometimes just out of fun, and I did some 5K and 10K races, but that was basically just for fun.
Yeah, I just had my daughter come on here.
We have a little guest.
Yeah, we have a guest on the show. Kan du vinke? Så, hvad vil du sige?
Jeg vil gerne sige, Jeg kommer lige her.
Ja, du skal bare være stille, for jeg sidder lige og snakker. Just a short interruption. But have you been doing a lot of sprints as well when you did the on the field training? Because that's a very hot topic in the weight loss industry right now. Coupling your strength training with some sprints once in a while. Did you do that, or did you do only the longer distance running? Or
during the time I played football, we did a lot of sprints in the off season as a preparation for the upcoming training for the upcoming season. During my weight loss years, I would call it, I didn't do any sprints like whatsoever, not one. There wasn't one sprint I did in the entire weight loss history that I had. I did, like, when I trained for the 5K and 10K races, it was basically steady state cardio, some high intensity stuff as well, but not really sprinting, I would say. Kind of, yeah.
okay.
But mostly, like, I also did CrossFit for 2 years, but right now I'm mostly into Olympic weightlifting, and I walk a lot, actually.
Yeah, but that's a fantastic strategy from the weight loss and just the health perspective, just looking at health, just getting out, moving some more. But I would like to talk about strength training because I have a very large philosophy on that. You need a certain, or at least a good base of strength training for a weight loss, because it will help you a lot on the weight loss and your metabolism and getting ready. What are your thoughts on lifting? If we take a total beginner who haven't lifted a barbell before, would you start them out with, let's say I'm coming to you as a client, maybe a female, and I would like to start weight loss, and I have I don't like the gym. I would like to start getting stronger. Would you set it up with some? What would you do with body weight or kettlebells, or what would you do if I was a new client?
Yeah, every beginner that comes to me, I basically start them out with barbell weight training. Very easy barbell weight training, and it's mostly technique work. You can incorporate some body weight stuff into that, but the way I'm going with barbell movements is the following. Sooner or later, you need to have a barbell or some kind of heavier weight in that training, because that client is going to progress. The client is going to get stronger. So you need some heavier stuff in there if you want to go with strength training. So a beginner does not know, or mostly doesn't know, or cannot do any of the lifts like squats and deadlifts and stuff like that. So you need to teach them anyway. So why not start at the beginning? I personally don't do a lot of body weight stuff with them. I just throw them under a barbell and teach them how to squat, how to deadlift, how to do the presses and pulls, and go from there.
So you basically take the big movements, like the full body movements, the squat and the deadlifts and an overhead press or a bench.
Yes.
Do you do any rows with your beginner clients?
Yes. I also do rows, bent over rows.
Yeah.
If it's possible, I also do chin-ups with them.
Yeah.
If not, I do just lat pull downs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how would you structure a program? Let's say I have one of our listeners. My listeners here are wanting to get in a simple classic strength program as a beginner. Would you say set them up with or advocate if you want your client? But let's say I have a client, a person that would like to do it. Would you set them up with the 5x5, or would you do a more simple hypertrophy style with more reps? Or
to to give a general recommendation is kind of tough for me, but I like to go very individually. I like to look at that person. What can he or she do? What do they like? What do they have any restrictions in terms of mobility? Do they have any injuries? Do they, all that kind of stuff. So I like, for a true beginner, I like to start out with a more hypertrophy oriented programming, like 3 sets of 10 maybe.
Okay.
And so like 3 sets of 10 for a beginner, and then move on from there. And depending on the goal, what is the goal of that client, I move on from there.
Yeah. So I just need to clear something up for people that maybe don't know. We've been, both of us, saying hypertrophy, and it's a way of talking about strength training where you just pump a little more blood into the muscle, and the muscle will grow. But just to tell people that, I know you get this question as a lot as I do as well. When we have girls, I don't want to grow in size, I just want to lose weight. And you get that question
Yes.
as much as I do. What do you want to say
Yes.
to people when they get this? If I have a 28-year girl that just want to lose weight and don't want to get any larger or get bulky or what we can call it.
If you are a girl and do strength training, you won't get huge. You won't get manly or anything like that. So your biggest fears won't come true. I would say you kind of have to dig deeper on this topic with the client, because when you say why do you want that, how do you want to look like, and it's like, well, I want to look toned, I want to look sexy, kind of thing, you know. And I say, well, then strength training is definitely for you. You won't bulk up, you won't get huge or anything, but you will get a tight butt, you will get nice legs, you will get toned arms, and that happens through strength training.
So as we just talked about, how much do you add any cardio to a client, or is it purely strength based, and then?
Well, that depends on the client.
But let's take a weight loss client.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I go first with strength training, but I also do add cardio if it's possible. I'm thinking about one of my online clients. I incorporate some cardio for him, like 1 to 3 times a week, actually. About an hour on the bike. He likes bike riding. It could also be running. But I usually go with strength training as the first thing, and nutrition right after that. And if there's some time left, I would incorporate some cardio, just for cardiovascular health and stuff. But what I really like to do is the following. I let them do somewhere around 10,000 steps a day, because that burns an additional, I would say, 150 to 300 calories per day. And it's not very taxing on the body. You don't really need any recovery time. So it's a great way to, and you can also incorporate it into your day, like getting off the bus 1 station early and walking, not taking the elevator and walking. So people find ways to walk without adding any additional workout time, which burns, like I said, 150 to 300 calories depending on your age, gender, height, and all that kind of stuff.
Do you get them some kind of tracking watch, or is it through the phones, that their smartphone, that they track their steps?
Mm-hmm. I really like the iPhone for this case, because it has a built-in app, the health app, and it counts your daily steps. and they report back to me through an online coaching app that I run for my clients, and they get all their nutritional information, all their workout information, and all the communication happens within that app, which is pretty nice. But usually most of my clients just track their steps with their phone. And it's easier because you have your phone with you anyway. So adding another piece to that, like a step counter or anything.
Yeah, it's just more work for everybody.
Yes, more work for the client, yes.
Yeah. When we're talking about strength training, if I was with our 28-year-old lady who's working with you for weight loss, would she be working, how much would she be working with you? Once a week or 3 times a week, or once alone, then two, 3, 4 times alone?
Yeah. Like again, that comes down to the client, but if like the example you just gave me with the 20-year-old lady, would you say it's a full online client, or it's a
full online client?
Full online client. I offer different services, and the people that need more one-on-one time, like calling, texting, and all that kind of stuff, get a different kind of package, I would say, than somebody that just needs a workout program. It depends. I would say I have at least one call with every client per week, and I look at their workout schedule almost like daily, and also like nutrition stuff and all that kind of thing. And they also message me when they need anything on the go. And I try to respond as quickly as possible through the Messenger app.
Okay. So when our young girl here has gotten her training down, what do you tell her about her nutrition to attain her getting toned and her weight loss?
When you want to lose weight, there's basically one thing it comes down to, and that is a calorie deficit. If you want to lose weight, you need to ingest fewer calories than you actually expend. So you can eat and I always tell my clients to, like, that's also very individual, and it depends on the client, on the eating habits of the client. But I actually don't recommend like a standard diet. I would say you do the ketogenic diet, you do the paleo diet, you do the low fat whatever diet, and I tailor that very individually to the client itself, because everybody has different needs, and everybody likes different things. But it's always a good thing to bump up the protein. It's always a great thing to eat more vegetables. So to get your micronutrients in, it's always a great thing to switch to water only and not having any juices or anything, because that it adds an additional calories that you don't basically need. But that's basically the main thing I would say I could give to everybody.
So you
eat more vegetables, eat more protein, drink water instead of any juices. Yeah.
Fantastic.
For me, I'm personally, I'm a big fan of counting macros. I did that for quite some time. I personally always had great success with it, and also my clients have great success with it, because you can basically, like, I don't want to say you can eat whatever you want, because you shouldn't. But you get a feeling of what a healthy sized meal looks like.
So what are your general recommendation on macros? Is it what do you say standard, before we talk about our individual things, working with them, but what would you say a standard ratio of macros with you?
The general. It depends on how much overweight you are. So the more overweight you are, the less macros per kilogram of body weight you get. But somewhere in the range of 1.8 grams to 2.2 grams protein per kilogram of body weight is a good range, depending on you individually. Somewhere in the range of 0.8 to 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight of fat, and then you fill up the rest with your carbohydrates.
Okay.
Depending on if you want to lose weight or if you want to gain weight.
Yeah. And would you get the carbohydrates from vegetables, or would you put in starchy carbs like potatoes and bread and stuff? What do you advocate there?
If you can, I like fruits. I personally like fruits because of the fact that they have a lot of micronutrients. But I do not say that starchy carbs like your potatoes, your pasta, your rice, or whatever, you can have it. I mean, if you can fit it into your plan, if you can fit it into your macros, why not? But always keep in mind that you need to have your micronutrient nutrition on point.
Okay. So when we're talking about working with you, it's a lot more individual. So if I came to you and said, hey, I would like to go full on keto, then you could do that as well, if that was what people would like.
If that is the client's preference, if the client does well on a ketogenic diet, then why not? I personally do not. I'm personally not a big fan of a ketogenic diet, but if the client does well on a ketogenic diet, why not?
So your general recommendation when we talk the steps of training and nutrition, then you say strength is the base where you start everybody off, and then you tailor it from there if they need cardio, and how you would structure their protein and fats from what kind of workout you're doing with them.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, perfect. I think this is a very nice way to look at how you can work with anybody, and exactly, I know you do a lot of this in your training, and why you should have a personal trainer to tell you how to use. We all know that the deadlift and the big lifts can be dangerous if you just have a bar in your basement and jump under it. And if you work with a client that has let's say this 28 years girl has a ex-husband or a husband who has a barbell, how do you, if he cannot teach them anything, how do you take a client like that and teach him the lifts?
Say that again, the question, I couldn't hear.
The question is, you have a client that would like to use the big lifts and work with you online. How do we ensure, do you send them videos, or do they send videos to you on how they should be doing or how the lifts are looking, and then you will return a correction or something?
What I like to do with people that it depends. If you can't do any barbell movements, I would rather start you out on machines and then move on to the barbell movements. But if it's a client that can move well, I also have a video library that every client gets on the app, and they can just within the app on real time in the gym look at the correct movement patterns, and then do them in the gym. Most clients do very well on that. If it's a client that has problems with mobility, that has problems with with actually moving under a barbell, I would start them out on a machine. So it doesn't need to be like it's not a you don't have to do barbell movements. If you can do barbell movements, it's awesome. It's great. I would recommend it every day over machines. But if you have any injuries or any other restrictions, you can still do machine training.
Perfect. I think we've been around all of this, and I would like to end up with, if people would like to know more about you and learn more about your style of training and your the way you work with clients, how can they find out more about you?
You can either reach me on my private Facebook page, you can reach me on my Instagram, or you can just shoot me an email. And the links are down below, I would say, in the description box.
Of course. I will make sure that everything is in the show notes so you can get hold of Markus. Markus, very much. Thank you very much for talking about weight lifting and weight loss. It's been very nice to having you on. Do you have anything you would like to add to the end here?
Yes, do strength training, eat good foods, and stay healthy.
Fantastic. That's a very nice advice to end up on. So I've just forgotten before we end up, what is your best training tips to the audience here? I ask everybody this.
Best training tips. If you can do barbell multi-joint movements, squats, deadlifts, pushes, pulls, eat good protein, eat lots of vegetables, move more, stay healthy, and enjoy your time everywhere you go.
Yeah, enjoy the journey instead of just looking at the results. Fantastic.
Exactly.
That's it for today, and I'm very thankful for you to being on the show, and I'll hope I can contact you again with if I need any more help with talking about
always.
Maybe we can talk more about the specific Olympic lifts next time.
Definitely, that would be awesome. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the Primal Persistence podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share the knowledge in this so we can help as many people as possible getting the physical and energy-based power to conquer every obstacle in their way.